First off, I don't care what you people say. Never follow rules. I'm a trendsetter anyway. Okay, I march to the beat of my own drum. They say I need rules in my life. Well, I got some. That's one. Kill the competition. Two. Be a loyal dog. Three. And if they snitching on your man, send them to the mall. Four. When you party, go hard till you hit the floor. Five. If you didn't see me do it, what the hell you asking for? Welcome to my world. SINA.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Big Llama Show. I'm the Big Llama. Welcome to the Sunday night live stream. We come to you live every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We come to you live on the Facebooks, on YouTube at the Big Llama Show, and on Twitch at Blkout_AD. Let me bring out my co-host extraordinaire, Blkout AD. Mr. Blkout AD, how are you this fine Sunday evening, sir?
What's up, Llama?
What's up? How you doing?
Doing well, man. I'm doing well.
I'm good. So we're back together again last week. If you guys caught the show, we did a WrestleMania watch party, so it was a little bit different than our normal stream, which we had a great time. We had Hercules and Jay Birdie that joined us for most of the night, so shout out to them and thank you guys for joining us. Blkout had the night off. He had to cover and work, so real life called for him. So, but we were glad that we were able to do something in the interim. It was a lot of fun. Definitely want to do something like that again. But again, it was just a random coincidence that we were able to do it. But now we're back and we're back to talk. And so, AD, man, thank you. I missed you last week, and yeah. I'm glad you're back this week, man.
I'm glad you guys did something. I was wondering, you were cutting it close. I was like, because we were gonna record something throughout the week, and then it just didn't work out.
Yeah,
but I think the WrestleMania thing, gave you guys a chance to actually sit down, watch it. I watched it back after, your guys' reaction was pretty good, man. It was really good, actually.
Yeah. Well, it was a weird situation because it was totally my fault. I completely forgot that you and I talked about it. We set up the plan. We're like, Thursday night, we're going to record, get everything ready for Sunday. And I completely forgot. And so after that, it was like, all right, so then what am I going to do? And then I was like, man, I really do want to watch WrestleMania. And it's in the middle of our show. So I was contemplating that. And then I don't know, was it you or somebody when we were chatting had suggested the watch party? I don't remember. But yeah. I was like, and I wanted to do that too, but then at the other time is like I have dinner with the folks and the family, so I was like, damn, how do I pull this off? But it all worked out. But you're right, it was last minute, and I'm glad we did it because we had great viewership on it and had a lot of fun with it. We tested some new things and it was a lot of fun. So hey, if you guys didn't watch it, you can go back do the replay. It was a lot of fun, but it's kind of not fun if you're not watching it with the WrestleMania, right? But I'm going to piece together some of those highlights with our reactions because I think it was a lot of fun. But we're back. We're back. We can talk about what happened at WrestleMania a little bit. We can talk about UFC 300. I don't know if you watched that.
I watched it.
I know you did. I tried to watch it, but I did the dad thing and I was watching it and I zonked out. But I did get an invite. I did get an invite from Gabe. And I don't know if he even did anything, but he called.
Yeah,
he
I think they went out.
Did they? Okay, because I saw him go live streaming. Was he streaming from the location?
Yeah, he wasn't live that long because as soon as I clicked, it was off. But
okay.
I think he tried. Yeah, they went out, I believe. So it would have been nice to have you. I was like, I think he mentioned it. He was like, yeah, I invited Llama, but we'll see.
Yeah, no. See, I was contemplating doing it, and then I was like, well, what time does the thing start? And it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, it's kind of late. I started watching the prelims, wasn't that interested, and I was like, yeah, you know what? And I actually slept from like 6 to like 9 o'clock, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to go out with these guys. I meant to text him back, but I didn't. I left him on red. So
yeah.
Hey, at least I'm honest about it, man. I'm at to the age where I don't do the bullshit anymore, where I kind of make up a story. I'm not gonna make it up. I'm appreciative that they invited me. I really wanted to go, but like it was late, and I was like, yeah, wasn't my kind of thing. And again, I heard it was a great fight night. I didn't.
It was fantastic.
I did see the highlights. I did see the highlights, and my kids both watched it, and they were doing their thing. Um, but man, it was a great card, and again, some great highlights came from it, and some. So who did get fight of the night? Who got the
Uh,
300,000?
I mean, it was Max Holloway. He got
Oh, it
600,000.
was Max Holloway. Okay.
He got 600,000. He got fight of the night and then knockout of the night.
Wow.
Which I mean, I knew he was gonna win. Obviously, not that fashion. No, I don't think anybody could predict. Literally 1 second left on the clock, knocking Justin Gaethje out. But man, what a fight! That fight was electrifying. And even I heard a lot of commentators say it, and I was like, I bet you it did because it probably took the energy out of the room. Like that fight was like a main event. Like, how do you follow that up? You know, and then the next fight was even crazier. Realistically, like Zhang Wei Li choked the girl out in the first round. She fell asleep, and the round ended. She didn't tap, but the round ended, and they woke her up, and she fought. She ended up fighting all 5 rounds from that.
Oh, geez.
The whole fight card was crazy, and I bet obviously the 300,000 probably motivated a lot of these guys to fight a little bit out of character. I mean, Bo Nickel, who is like 5-0 right now in the UFC, they put him, to start the main card. He's gonna be a star. I mean, he was like I think at fight time he was like plus. No, he was like minus like 770 or close to like 900 a favorite. Like his favorite every time he fights, it's like the odds are crazy. So it's like kind of hard to even bet against him because it's like you want to bet the underdog, which I did in one parlay, and that didn't work out for me. Well, he said himself, he was like, 300K really made me want to go out there and knock him out. He's like, it got me fighting out of my character. I bet you that. I mean, you got former champions, people moving weight, having things to prove. Like people kind of shitted on the card when it first got released, but when they started filling it up and you start realizing, like, bro, yeah, it's not Conor McGregor headlining, it's not, even Sean O'Malley at this point headlining, but everybody on that is a high level fighter. Everybody from top to bottom. They started the card with literally Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt, former champions. They never do that ever
Right.
from from the beginning to the end. So I don't know. It shaped up really well. It's gonna be memorable.
Yeah, no, and even the prelims, and even the early stuff, the place was packed. I mean, more than I've ever seen it. For fight nights and everything else. Like it looked like it was jumping. So it looked like it had a big night feel. Everything was great, and again, what I watched was great to watch. So it wasn't like, again, I'm not shitting on the card or the event. I just wasn't into it because I don't know the players that were in it, but from what I watched, I enjoyed tremendously, and even the storytelling and everything from it. So the highlights after the fact were even great. So am I? And again, everyone I talked to about the fight, we're just raving about the ends and the knockouts and everything else. So they put on a great show, and people were talking about it the next day and just tweeting about it. So it got the intended results, right? And then the fight of the night purse at 300,000, that was so intriguing to me.
No, it
That
was
was like
300,000 though. Everything was 300,000. All the bonuses. The fight of the night was 300,000. Knockout was 300,000. Performance.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, but that was intriguing to me. Not knowing anything, I was like, man, who's going to step up and get this money, right? And then these guys looked like they were showing out, which was great. So it was great incentive.
I felt like everybody kind of knew. The Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, you're putting two people who have zero quit in them, who go to war. You know what I mean? Like I think I remember like one guy was like, "Yeah, I'm happy about the 300K, but I'm not gonna win that shit." Like I know he's like, I would have to do some crazy shit to get that. But yeah,
right.
The whole night, I mean, start to finish, all those fights could have headlined a fight night or a pay-per-view somewhere throughout the year. So the fact that they're on one card, it was dope. And then you see like the reaction online of like what happened. I mean, yeah.
The guy I felt bad for was the guy who was at UFC 100, UFC 200, UFC 300.
Yeah, but he's old.
I know, but he got his face just completely pummeled. and opened up, and oh my god, I mean,
The
it was
fight
brutal.
game.
Hey, he stuck it out though, but good god.
And
Um,
Bobby Green, nasty stand up. He's vicious.
oh
So,
god, yeah, with the hands down.
oh yeah, he didn't give a fuck, bro. He's just fast.
Yeah, and you know it, but Green is a character you want to hate in terms of the way he like he personifies like that cockiness, right? Because I know nothing about his backstory or anything. Just watching him trash talk and the way he's just kind of standing there with his hands down, and then he like kicks the guy, or the guy kicks him, and he's like, "Yeah, mid." And I'm like, "Damn, I just want this guy to knock him out." And the more he opened up the guy's face and he looked like a tomato, I was like, "Oh man, this guy's just toying with him."
Yeah,
Um,
it wasn't
yeah,
close.
but it was entertaining. It was entertaining to watch. So there were some great characters that came out of the fight. So it was certainly a big night for them, and deservedly so. And again, big night. So the next one I think is shaping up to be a pretty big one. But again, they did their job. People are talking about it, and I just feel bad that I didn't go with Bertie and Gabe to the event. I feel really bad, but again, I'm old, man. I'm old and I'm tired. And I knew it was a late night, and they're young, so it's like I can't hang with you guys. Not on the fight night. But anyway, that's it, man. So I thought Gabe didn't go because he went live, and I was like, oh well, he didn't go. I didn't feel so bad, and I realized he actually did go.
Yeah,
I should have texted him back.
it's all right, dude.
Sorry, Gabe, if you're
I
watching.
think they pretty much figured you weren't gonna go. You didn't really let anybody down.
Yeah, well, you know, again, I told him I appreciate that he thought of me, and he invited me, because there'll be a night that I do go. Just last night wasn't the night.
I mean,
So
that was the fight card to go though, to be honest. But next couple will be cool. They announced it. Connor's fighting like June 29th. So that's gonna be a pretty
yeah,
big card, I'm sure.
yeah. Well, you know, they got to realize is like it's, and I hate to say it like this, right? This is an old man talking. Like I'm an old man. You got to you can't call me the day of the event and be like, "Hey, we're going out tonight. You want to go?" You got to call me a couple of days in advance, man. You got to be like, "Hey, we're planning on going this weekend. You want to go?" I gotta start smooth talking the wife. I got to figure out the plans. You know, it was hard enough just to like try to think about, okay, how would I even present this to Mama Llama? Last minute, in a couple hours, I'm gonna go out with these boys, right? You gotta tell me, like, you know, at least a couple days in advance.
Llama,
And so anyway,
he could have said something. He said, "I left by midnight." Look,
yeah, I know, but let's see. I got invited the day of as well. But yeah, but Gabe, you're young, dude.
it's
No
all right,
wife
Llama.
and kids, man. No wife and kids. So anyway, so it was a good fight night. Hope everyone enjoyed that. We wanted to talk about the Kendrick Lamar, Drake, now Rick Ross. Now almost everybody's jumping into this thing.
Yeah,
It's funny shit, man. That because now we're talking about plastic surgery. We're talking about personal shit. I mean, everyone's just jumping in on this stuff. And then, is it confirmed? I got to ask you because I don't know this shit, but is it truly Drake's diss, or is it an AI
no, come on,
created
dude.
thing?
The AI.
No,
shit's
no.
so stupid.
No. I
I hate.
somebody said it.
Everybody was saying it. Now,
Yeah.
I got this. This wasn't a conversation we had, but like, you know, I've been talking about this shit all week, last couple weeks, really.
Right.
And there's an AI disc that was floating around like a couple months ago. That's like actual AI, and it, you know, caught some heat because it was pretty good, but it wasn't a real disc. And I was like, damn, like that's actually a brilliant way, like, to say something, like to drop a song and be like, it might be AI, it might not be, like, you know, because you promote it, people are gonna go listen to it anyways, especially because the beef is pretty, I mean, obviously high profile. You got every rapper in the game right now that's pretty hot in terms of like where they are in their careers associated with this in some form or fashion. But yeah, the AI aspect, I was like, that's kind of a brilliant play because people said they heard the song already, and this was last week. They were like, "Yeah, we heard the song." A lot of people and one guy actually quoted something from it, and obviously went over people's heads because the song didn't drop. But the whole AI aspect, I think, is it kind of I think it was also kind of bait towards Kendrick. Like, you and I both know this is real. They can think it's AI, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But you and I both know, that's actually me coming at all of you. So I don't know. And he literally addressed everybody that's been dissing him or saying anything about him in the song. And I thought Drake doesn't shy away from these aspects, even though they try to paint him as the pop star, and he's not literally. They got the ghostwriting stuff. Is he's not lyrically like that, but when it comes to the competitive side of it, he's about it. Now we got to see what's gonna happen because Kendrick has a song that supposedly he's had recorded for a while, and even Drake addressed that. Was you had that song for 4 years, just drop it already, So we'll see, man. I think it's really good for hip hop though. The conversation around it is to me, that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it. It was the conversation about hip hop, the competitive side of it. You know what I mean? People are talking about lyrics right now in this moment, whereas the last couple of years has not been like that. And most beefs especially with the younger generation, they're actually beefing in real life. It's more street beef than hip hop beef. This is the essence of how hip hop started, and I'm fucking with it right now. And it's gonna be interesting to see who wins.
And let me ask you, so the whole Cole apologizing thing, what was your take on that? Because I found it to be odd. But I guess he's pretty realistic about putting it out there how he's feeling about things. So
I think that's
what I mean.
I think when you listen to what he says and how he expressed it, it makes sense. Now, I also, it's kind of hard because I also understand the other aspect of it is bro, you dropped the disc, now you're backtracking. But if he knows, which again, people have been, I hit my fucking face. But people have been talking about these tracks being heard for at least a week and shit. So one, he's definitely had to have heard it, right? And he sees where their beef is going because really, it's Kendrick and Drake that they don't like each other. Cole's kind of biased in the fact that he might not be seen with Kendrick a lot, but he still has a lot of respect for him. Now, to me, I like the diss track. I thought it was dope. I don't like that he actually deleted it off the thing, but that just shows how I feel he thinks his feelings are that's what he's expressing. He doesn't want to put that energy out there. Plus, I think it's gonna go to a different kind of place when in terms of Drake and Kendrick going at each other. I think it's gonna get real personal. I don't think holds about that aspect. But again, people are well, you can't really consider him, that guy if he's backing down, or it's you can, because realistically the beef is Drake and Kendrick right now. Because Cole can still beef with them later on down the road in an actual competitive format, both of them. And at that point, we got to respect what happens then. So I don't know. It's a real interesting time. But again, the fact that people are talking about lyrics, they're talking about the competitive side of it, of who's going to win, how they're going to win. Obviously Rick Ross. Now, the Rick Ross shit is super weird. It's super
Yeah, because it's almost like and again, it's not that he's not relevant, but it's now everyone's just jumping on this train to be part of the conversation. At least that's how I see it from the outside looking in, is that you everyone started to pile on, hey, let's get on this.
No, I think something happened I think all of them have a reason to not like Drake. So personally,
behind the scenes?
I always say, Drake's my favorite rapper, but I don't think I would get along with him, to be honest. Just by what you hear, it's just I don't know. So he's definitely done stuff to these people because him and Rick Ross were close, and they've made a lot of hits together. They've made a lot of hits together, and Rick Ross is on record saying his admiration for working with Drake and where he thinks Drake as a creator is. But obviously, there's some behind the scenes tension that's and that. It's almost it really is. People are saying Drake's Thanos, right? And the funny thing is the Metro Boomin is kind of like the face of it, of like starting putting the album together and getting all these people. But like a lot of talk is about like the weekend, kind of like puppet mastering everybody to like really go at Drake. So it's almost like let's try to get this guy the fuck out of here, and we all try to do it right now. Like we can probably all do it. And the sad thing is, most of those guys he already ate up in this one track. Now it's like him and Kendrick are gonna go at it, and that's gonna go how it's gonna go. But the rest of them is like, come on, bro. Like, do I have to battle with all you guys right now? You know, like I mean, the line he said, he was like, "This is like 20v1, right?" I don't know.
I mean, but you are right though. Everybody is talking about it. Again, it's got eyes on. I mean, you've got articles in the Washington Post. You've got articles in Rolling Stone. You've got like big musical outlets, big media outlets, like now focusing in on this and hip hop itself. And I think that's good because it hasn't been there in a while. Like other than the pop star who, not the pop star, but like the song that crosses over. It's been a while since this type of like energy has been directed towards them. So,
well,
because
hip hop became. You got to realize the last couple of years until now, until like this year, maybe last year, country is kind of like taking the number one most popular genre, but hip hop was that for the last however many years. So it wasn't about the competitive side. It wasn't about your lyrical ability. It was, can you make a hit right now? You know, like, can you make something that people, it's catchy, whatever. So I think this just brings, again, that competitive side back to the forefront. And I think, like, since hip hop is now, I want to say on a decline, not that it's declining, but like it's not the number one spot right now. It's kind of like balancing back out to where it's like, this is the essence of hip hop. And these guys, yeah, at the highest level, Drake and Kendrick are at the highest level of hip hop, right? Yep. They got pop star, quote unquote, hits, but they're talking about the lyrical aspect of it, of like who's getting the better of who. I think for the long run, this is really good, and hopefully has impact where we see more people going at it on a track. You know.
Yeah. No, for sure. And like I said, it brings back the spirit of hip hop, like we've talked about, and the energy. And so hopefully we get more exciting artists that come out that have that kind of energy. And again, I'm not against any of the current hip hop artists, but some of it is formulaic, right? Some of it is that same repeatable trash, right? Where it's like, okay, we've got the hook and you repeat the hook 17 times and it's a hit, and that's fine because you can dance to it and I enjoy it. So I'm not saying I don't enjoy it, but there was something always missing when the lyrics didn't match up, the bars weren't there. So when you have artists now that are providing a story along, and something that you can like follow, it's back to the essence of what I used to love about hip hop. So I'm excited about this time. So
I don't think that like what you're saying is true, just because if you want the lyrical ability, you can go find it. You got Benny the Butcher, Conway. There's people out there putting music right now every year that have high lyrical, and they take that, they hold that essence. But I'm saying it's hitting the forefront. This is, you know what I mean? But like, it's been there. It's been there the whole time. You just, if you really are looking for it, you'll find it. You know what I mean? So no, I think
it's there, but it's underground though. Like it's not underground, but it's not at the mainstream level where what it used to be. Where again, there were it was a stigma that was attached to you if you hit that pop level, like Drake is now. There was a stigma attached to you that either you sold out or crossed over. Not saying that it was right at the time that we had that, but that was kind of the moniker that you got. Like, hey, you crossed over, you sold out, whatever. But there was always these like emerging artists that were just on the cusp of that. And I'm saying there was always something that was right there that was mainstream or close to mainstream that was really, really good. But right now, the stuff that's really, really good, that's up there, and again, this is my perspective from what I used to listen to till now. The stuff that's really, really selling, some of it is really, really good, and some of it is really just like pure trash. But again, I like the J. Cole's. I like the stuff that Kendrick puts out. I like, I love Drake's stuff too. I'm just saying, I like the fact that we're focusing on lyrics, bars. I like the fact that we are actually listening to the lyrics and the story of what is happening in these songs versus just trying to catch the hook. That's all. I like the fact that we're doing that versus, hey, that's a catchy beat and let's just go, right? But again, that's my perspective of it, and I understand yours.
Yeah,
But that's
I'm
why
just
we
saying
work well together.
it's just there. You know what I mean? Like if you were to look for that, there's people still doing it at a high level, selling really well, who are stars. But I think what you're saying, I mean, that happened. It changed once Jay-Z became Jay-Z.
Right.
Then it all changed. Like then you had the prototype rap superstars. You know what I mean? It started happening when Biggie and Pac. Like that was like when the shift started happening. But when Jay-Z became Jay-Z, it changed the game for everybody. But again, think about it. The people that been here because Drake, Kendrick, and Cole are from my era of like growing up. You know what I mean? Like those were the people coming out that was new because in my perspective, hip hop, it was like everybody before me was listening to like the 90s boom bap, like that's all they were listening to. And then, the shift started happening. Then you had the down south rap. I remember like being like defending Lil Wayne against to my uncles, like, and telling them like Drake's gonna be the biggest rapper ever. Like I was like having these conversations, like I don't like you guys don't know what you're talking about. Like it's coming. It's gonna happen. But they were always regarded, Cole, Kendrick, and Drake were always regarded by the people before us, the 90s people, as like lyrically, like, oh, these are the guys of this generation. And think about it. All these years later, they're still at the point because they are that lyrical. They can also put hits together, but at the essence, they carry that hip hop shit. And that's what rises to the top. You still have you still got like people like Future who can make a hit and it's kind of good lyrically, but realistically, he's not up there.
Yeah. Well, no, listen, again, we're talking about it. It's a great conversation piece, but that's why it's good for hip hop, because it's trending everywhere and everybody's talking about this. And like I said, having it on Main Street outlets is great. And so it brings more attention. So hopefully we'll it'll clear the air a little bit so that it's a more defined beef between Kendrick and Drake, and then we see what comes out. But again, that's some good stuff. All right, so Birdie's in the building, so I just wanted to recognize Birdie was here. He was shouting out. He did have a comment. He said the apology was super wristbendy. Birdie has to bring it to that level. And then let's see. He also mentioned here, so excited to be out of the corral with Llama this Friday. Yeah, we're going to a show this Friday. See, he made plans like 2 weeks in advance.
Oh my. Eventually, when I move down, you're gonna have to sporadically hang out with us, dude. That's where the best content will be.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. That's for sure. But Birdie knows though.
When I open my car shop / studio, you gotta be hanging out, late nights late night streams.
No, for sure. Well, again, that's fine. I gotta just put it in the plans. That's all. If you'll be in town and I know you're in town, I'll be like, all right, Friday nights, I know where I'm going.
I am going.
Or Wednesday nights.
I am definitely going to Florida in May.
Oh, okay, good. So we'll make some plans for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so let's switch gears and let's talk about the new trailer for the Joker came out, the Joker 2.
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
You shitted on this movie before.
I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't thrilled about the. Okay. I didn't think this movie needed a sequel. Like the original, I thought it was perfect. I thought it was great the way it ended. I thought it's a one and done, and not that you can't improve on it, but I just thought, like, why fuck up a good thing, right? Like, I really thought the movie was great. I thought the concept was great, but how do you move on from that movie? Like, how do you do something different without it being, like just fan service or just trying to make $1 out of it, right? So when they announced that Lady Gaga was going to be Harley Quinn, then they started saying it was a musical. I was like, okay, it might be cool, but I'm really worried. And so I was not buying it. I was not buying it at all. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And then the trailer came out, and I got to say, the trailer gave me vibes of the first one. And so I'm bought into the concept of it. And then I did some reading on it. I did watch a couple videos on it, and the whole element of the music is supposedly not necessarily that it's a musical, but that the music sort of fills into the like the breaks in his mind, right? Or the
Yeah.
breaks in his brain or something to that effect. So, Birdie, what the fuck, Birdie? Andy's just fine, Birdie, but thank you for your $4.99. Jesus Christ, Birdie.
Oh shit.
He had to do that. But no, anyway. So no, the concept looks good. I hope the execution, I mean, they spent a lot of money on the movie. It's over 200 million, I think, or something close to that, where the first one was like, I don't know, 80 to 90 million. But again, it looks great. It looks amazing. So I'm excited, but again, I will be honest, I did shit all over the concept in the beginning because I didn't believe in it. I don't think it was necessary, but I'm all in now. I mean, what'd you think?
I thought it looked amazing, but I've always kind of, they said it from the beginning. This is a Elseworld story. Like, it's gonna be its own thing. So let it go do whatever it wants. I mean, obviously, it was very successful the first one. The realism of it, people kind of didn't like the fact that it was like the Joker and like a lot. What I seen a lot of was like this could have been its own thing, and they didn't have to even attach Batman or anything to it. You know what I mean? It could have been like its own story. It could have just done its own thing, but they did it with the Joker in mind, and I think it would be cool to see like a Harley Quinn that's you kind of get to see their relationship on the big screen, which we haven't. You know what I mean? We haven't really seen their bond formed. We haven't really even seen their relationship really fleshed out in any way. You know what I mean? It's like very little on the big screen. So I don't know. The musical aspect, again, like you said, it's kind of like more of like going along with the story as opposed to being like a La La Land. And I thought they were going the La La Land route, but thank God they didn't, because that could have been hard if it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
You just got to sit through it like, all right, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when they were mentioning that, I was like, oh no, I don't know if that'll work. But I think the concept that they're saying that they use the music, I think that works.
I think Lady Gaga can be a good Harley Quinn. I do.
Yeah.
Like the American Horror Story, like her performances on that, like that I've seen, like she can act and obviously she can sing, so she fits that aspect of it. But I think even in the trailer, like she portrayed a good Harley. So we'll see. I mean, obviously,
yeah. I mean, if you were to ask me if I would even have her on a list of people to play Harley Quinn, I'd be like, no. Right. But I mean, I think seeing her in the makeup, seeing her in the trailer,
and
I think it fits. I think
truthfully, you need the Harley Quinn to fit Joaquin's Joker, basically. You know what I mean? Like this could be a good fit where their chemistry makes it work, so that could be another aspect. Like obviously the character is portrayed a certain way, and like if you don't portray, especially Harley, like she's beloved as she is, so like I don't know, did people think Margot Robbie is going to be a good one? Probably not, I would think.
No, and no one knew until she started speaking, right? Until you saw her in makeup and started doing the Brooklyn accent and that stuff. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough to gauge who you would think would be a good Harley Quinn. Again, I didn't think she would be a good one because I couldn't picture her in that. But now that next to Joaquin and you see how they have her laid out, and you see kind of how the set pieces look and the way that the music and the dancing and everything is kind of incorporated, you're like, yeah, why wouldn't it be Lady Gaga? Like, why wouldn't you just have her in there? So, I mean, she looks great in the movie, and that final scene or that final like frame that they show where she draws the smile, which brilliant. I mean, that was
dope.
That was phenomenal. I mean, that to me was like, okay, they're kind of setting you up like, hey, we got a special movie for you. Just check this shit out. We're like, all right. But yeah, that was pretty good. And like I said, it had to me the same look and feel of the first trailers from the first movie. So, and you still have the same director, I believe, too. I think it's Todd Phillips. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's a big investment now. It broke all kinds of records, the trailer. I think they said, I was looking it up just now. The trailer sets up to be a potential $1 billion box office movie. So like they're saying, they're equating the number of views on the trailer versus the box office view could be huge. And I'm like, well, of course. Now,
I think it looks good. It looks good, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be at least averagely good film. Like, you know what I mean? At the very least. And if it does get all this attention ahead of time, people go out and see it. Plus, you know, like you see a lot of people going to the movies again. You know what I mean? Like, it's back to normal, which is crazy. Like, when we started the show, it was like, movies are done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Nobody's going to movies, but people are going. And I honestly see like movies getting bigger in the next couple of years. Obviously, they're already massive, but like I see the storytelling coming back. A movie like this does well because I keep saying like, yeah, like the whole universe building is dope, but like we just need single stories. Even you see it with like Roadhouse, just a single like old style movie where it was just this story and this. Now they might try to do the sequel and all that probably, but like if they just leave it at that, it was very successful for what it was, you know. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the movie experience is a little different, but the movie's got to want to make you go to the movie, right? Like, so I think they get the fact that not because they've had a bunch of movies out and a lot of them haven't made a lot of money, but when they hit on something big, or not by marketing, but like word of mouth or something like an event film, people are going to the movie. So, but. I wasn't trying to segue into it, but now that you mentioned the movie experience, I did post about the popcorn buckets because it is with the movie experience. Did you happen to see the new Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn buckets?
I don't think those are real.
No, those I think they are.
I don't think so.
Well,
I think that's AI. No, I don't know.
Maybe.
I honestly don't think they're real because I was trying to look for it. Like an official thing, but I didn't see one. So I don't know if they didn't, not with the holes. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, so here's the, again, it could just be their marketing strategy because Ryan Reynolds is a master marketer.
Genius.
He's a freaking genius. There's been news stories already, either leaked or on purpose, right? Or done by their marketing team that said that they're going to capitalize on the mistake of the Dune popcorn bucket and make theirs purposely over the top, you know, inappropriate. So like to again, just to fuck with the fact that Dune fucked up and they know how to like take advantage of that. And the fact that people are actually now looking at popcorn buckets as like collector's items. Yeah. People are starting to do collections on those. You know, like me. So I think they're onto something. Whether it's that I posted or whether it's something different, they're actually going. The word is they're going to put out something that's everyone is going to want to get, either because it's inappropriate or because it'll be limited run. But I think that's another part of the like the movie experience that they're going to try to get people. That's like, hey, look, we've got these special items and things, and people will show up. You know,
people are going to go watch that movie no matter what.
Oh, I think so. I mean, but that's another event movie. Like everybody and their mother is going to go see that movie. So like you definitely are going to make your plans. You're going to go to the theater. That's not one of those that you go, well, maybe I'll see how good it is. No, everybody's going to make that plan. So it's same thing with the Joker. As big as the trailer was, that's going to show you that everyone's going to go to the movies to go see that thing, because you don't want to be the person that misses it or doesn't go see it. Not that there'll be a bunch of spoilers, but again, it's an event film. You want to be to it. So I think that's kind of the smart play. It was like Barbenheimer and that type of stuff. You wanted to go be part of that event. So we'll see. There's a couple of good movies coming out, but they just haven't
I'm
made money
excited because I haven't been wanting. I haven't gone to the movies and I don't even remember the last time actually. To be honest, maybe Oppenheimer. Truthfully,
is that the last one you went?
That might be the last movie because there hasn't been a movie where I'm like, yeah, I got to go see that. I have to. There just hasn't. There's movies that I'm like, yeah, if I get up and go, it'll be cool. But
maybe.
I'm not getting up and going most of the time.
Yeah. I think Ghostbusters was the last one I went to, but there was like 3 I wanted to go see. I just haven't had the chance. But if I had a better theater nearby, I would have gone.
One movie I am like, man, that I didn't watch in theaters was Godzilla -1. I'm upset. I wanted to see that one.
I'm so pissed because they had an IMAX screening up here and I didn't see it. I didn't know a lot about it. And then I was like, oh, I do want to go check it out. And by the time I was like, oh, I'm going to go check it out, it was already gone from theater runs. And I'm like, oh, damn. And as good as it was, like, people were saying they were crying and sobbing and all this kind of shit. And I was like, damn, from a Godzilla movie? I was like, how good is this movie? I got to go see it now. But I'm pissed. I'm actually pissed. There's a bunch of movies I didn't see in the theater that I'm pissed about now. The Marvels is one of them. Iron Claw is another one.
Oh, yo, I watched the Marvels Through Your Eyes. It was a good reaction, but also the movie was a lot better than I thought it was. It sounded like people shitted on it. Like it wasn't good. And I liked the show until the end. The show was good. Like the first couple episodes I enjoyed. So like to watch one movie of it, I felt like after watching it, I was like, yeah, I could have sat through that one.
Yeah.
And enjoyed it. Like left and enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good movie. So I'm pissed I didn't see that one. Not pissed, but it was more like, oh, it would have been nice to see in the theater.
Yeah.
The Iron Claw was a good one. But it was that one. I'm not too mad that I didn't go see in the theater, but it would have been nice to see it. But I just watched that one. That's a great movie, man. That's a great movie, but it's a damn gut punch, man. Holy shit. It's another crying reaction, so be prepared.
There he goes. You average about one a month.
I do.
It's good. You feel the movies.
But you know what's funny is somebody posted about The Pursuit of Happiness. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
With Will Smith? I have not seen that movie, and I'm scared to see it because every time I see a scene from it, I well up, and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do a whole movie of this.
Yeah, that movie's sad as shit.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's too much. It's too much. I did do Ready to Rumble with Birdie, so that one's going to come out sometime next week or at least for Patreon, it'll be out right away. But that was fun. That was a fun.
I'm glad you're doing content with like. That's why I didn't, intervene. But I'm glad there's content with a couple of the guys. You know what I mean? I get to go back and watch because like watching the WrestleMania one, like. I was like, damn, it would have been cool to be on it. But then I was like, also, you guys were so excited and knew so much about it. I would have just been like, all right, this is cool. Like the way I watched it too was, which I apologize because I did join up and have my mic on and stuff. I totally forgot about that. I thought about it after. I was like, oh, I think when I was watching it, you guys mentioned it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just like skip it through it. I was like, anyways, I watched it with some kid from Mexico. He's like 19. But like, I didn't realize he was super into it. Obviously, they're cool. They love wrestling over there. But like,
oh yeah,
he was like into it, like going crazy. He was like, John Cena, muy bien. And mind you, we're in the middle of like cooking. Like he's going nuts. So then when I joined in, because he was watching it on somebody's like live, like Instagram live, and they were like pointing the camera at the TV. Like that's how he was watching. So then I just went in. That's why I went into the Discord. I was like, bro, listen. Here you go, buddy. He said, oh, he got so hyped. He was just like, Cody Rose vamos. Like, he was going crazy. I was like, oh, this is actually dope. Like, obviously I've been like, Bird, like, teaches me a lot about wrestling. So, like, now I'm starting to, like, plus heels I think heels turned me into a fan of, like, actual wrestling. And the fact that, like, Birdie's so passionate about it, I can actually talk to him, you know what I mean? So, like, seeing him, the kid I was working with, I was like, oh, that's, like, probably what these guys were feeling. Because like watching your guys' reaction, you guys were the same way. Like super excited. I'm over here like, oh, this is cool. Like I understand the storyline and what's going on, but these guys are getting hype.
Listen, that was actually that was a lot of fun. But now that you mentioned heels, I had tagged you on the thing
Yeah.
that I saw that heels might come back. The guy who's one of the actors in heels liked the tweet when I sent it to you, and so listen, man, you guys, if heels comes back, man, that the heels pod has to come back, man. The recaps.
Yeah, man.
So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. But no, listen, man. Like I said, a lot of fun doing content with Birdie and a lot of fun doing, all this stuff. So I'm glad. But honestly, what happened is I heard stuff in the background, right? And I'm like, I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought it was Birdie. I thought it was Birdie the whole time. And then I thought it was Herc. Because Herc was using his phone and his phone died and he left and he came back. I'm like, oh, come on, Herc, you're screwing this thing up. And then I went to the Discord and then I saw you were in there and I'm like, wait, and I kept hearing like something clanging and something else, and I'm like, oh man, and then I muted you, and I'm like, I hope AD doesn't think I'm like trying to like tune him out of the show.
No,
but
yeah, that was my fault. I really should have thought about it because it happens to me so often. But literally, it was like I just went in and we were in the middle of a rush, to be honest. So like I was like, yo, he's getting hype and he's watching on like shitty like Llama's literally doing a watch party. Like, why not just put it up? And then everybody, like, after we slowed down stuff, like, everybody was watching it. So it was kind of a cool moment. And that was, like, I feel like wrestling captured the fans. Not that they didn't have the fans, but, like, they caught the masses. It's kind of like the Kendrick Drake thing. Like, it caught the masses because it felt like a big moment. You know what I mean? Like, The Rock and, like, that promo that he shot where, like, Cody Rhodes is bloody and shit. Like, that was everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it really felt big, so it was like cool to like experience it. And then like again, by circumstances, you guys got to do the watch party, and it was like, yo, I'm glad because like that was a moment, and obviously the views were crazy for you.
Yeah, no, it was insane. But you're right. It was. I think wrestling. Not that it was not. It was just oversaturated with AEW and all these other things. And again, people I don't think really were into it that much. And then the stories got better and Vince McMahon went away and the stories got better. And when you have an invested story like the Cody Rhodes story or any of these stories for over a year, right? Now you start getting invested in, and then you start bringing The Rock in on the right angles and stuff. It's amazing storytelling. But yeah, it's definitely back in terms of the popularity. It's growing again. It's getting back to what it used to be, and now that it's going to go to Netflix and has all these new
that's
new
another
changes.
thing. That's another thing. Like me and Bird were talking about it because he was talking about the TKO, which is the company that owns the UFC and them owns. It's talking about the stock going up, and it was like, yeah, that is good stock to get right now because think about just as a company, you had WrestleMania and then UFC 300 that were both massive events that again caught everybody's attention when it happened. Like, they're in a special time right now. Like, as a UFC fan and I could say like a growing like wrestling fan, I think there's gonna be a lot more big shows to come for sure.
Oh no, for sure. I think one of the cool things that I saw was right now, Peacock has the rights to the content and the history and the WrestleManias and all that stuff. But Triple H has said it, like, it doesn't stop at getting our live show, getting Raw on Netflix. Netflix wants more. So when the contract is up, it's a bidding war between Peacock and Netflix for the rights to the pay-per-views, for the rights to the catalog, and they've got nothing but they've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hours of just content that anybody, if they get their hands on it, has just an entire just content library that they can just shell out anytime. So it's going to be amazing to see. And so they're going to be making money hand over fist, especially if they keep going at this rate to keep growing the popularity. Yeah. So And again, I also read too, they're going more to like a traditional sports type broadcast, which again, they're going to have the storytelling aspects, but when you watch the actual matches, it will be more in like a sporting event, like a UFC, like, you know, so that it's more cohesive and it's not, you know, bumbling around like it used to be, where it's like, let's go to commercial break, that type of thing. It really is going to be a little bit of everything that you want out of your wrestling.
Evolution.
And they're going to bring they're going to bring the word wrestling back, right? Like wrestling is, you know, back. It's not sports entertainment anymore. Because they got rid of the one legal liability, which was Vince McMahon, who forever had to stop saying it was wrestling because he got in trouble and all this other stuff. Now they can package it under different umbrellas, but it's going to be an amazing time. So exciting times for sure, for the WWE, for UFC, and for the fans, because we're getting the best product out there. So
yeah,
it's going to be amazing. All right. So anything else? I think that's it. I think that's what we wanted to cover tonight. You got anything else on your mind tonight?
No, man.
Birdie says he got a dub on Warzone. He's over there playing solo.
Nah, they had a group going.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as I close the show, I had a poll out. So we had an animated poll. I guess I'll be doing the Princess and the Frog this week.
That's terrible.
Why? I put Ratatouille out there and somebody got pissed and nobody voted for it. I never saw Ratatouille. I never saw.
It's actually a good movie. I'm hating. Yeah. That's the one I voted for. Soul.
Yeah, I never saw Soul, Ratatouille, or The Princess and the Frog, and those have been ones I've been wanting to watch for the channel. So I put it on a poll, and I think over 300 or 350 people voted, and they overwhelmingly wanted The Princess and the Frog. So I will record Princess and the Frog tomorrow. The Iron Claw comes out this week. And then the Ready to Rumble watch party, at least the watch along, will be on Patreon this week. And then I'll try to get the YouTube edit out as soon as possible. But I got a lot of good content. I got like 3 waiting to be edited. So I love having a backlog of things to work on. So that's a great thing. Let's see. We got some people here. Tang is here, right? Yeah. Oh, so he was on the dub. Bloodline's going to split like the NWO. Oh, Jesus. 3 bangers. These guys are just having a good time. So any post Llama streaming or any gaming or anything? You got anything else going on tonight?
I don't know. We'll see.
You don't?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna game, but I don't know about some streams.
All right. Yeah, I think I might game for a little bit, then just call it a night. But anyway, guys, if you would like to, again, support the show, make sure you guys let everybody know about the Big Llama Show on YouTube. That's the main channel. We do have a Patreon. If you want to go to the Patreon /Big Llama Show, you can support the channel that way. Or if you're on YouTube and you want to become a member of the channel, it's almost the same thing. You can become a member of the YouTube channel and you get the same kind of perks and everything. Access to the reactions early, access to the full-length watch-alongs are exclusive to members and Patreon members only. So check those things out. If you want to support Blkout AD, go to his Twitch channel at Blkout_AD. Also, he's also on Whatnot on Blackout Slabs. All right, guys. Again, thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back next Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Big Llama Show. We'll see you guys. I am Big Llama. He is Blkout AD. See you guys next Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, everybody.